It's that time again. Good evening and welcome to Star Talk. I'm Ken Eccles and happy to have you with us on the program tonight. 3 nights in a row. We're on live. Here we are. Phone line is open. The number is up there. You can also email us at keneckleslive@gmail.com. And I actually have, oh, there it is. I actually have a phone here on which I can read your emails. If you want to send me some emails, I think we have a couple over there already, including one that says, Ken, can you run down the picks for the Charlotte race? I will do that pretty soon. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, good evening, Mr. Ken.
Well, good evening. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine and dandy. I got to go to work, do windows in the morning, inside and out. So that means the rest of the day will be mine.
Are you going in the limousine tomorrow morning?
No, I'm taking the Harley.
Oh, the Harley. So that moped is a Harley. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's my other. That is sometimes my main transportation, so I don't have to talk to people or have to engage with people sometimes.
Why you don't want to engage with people?
Sometimes, not all the time. Just want to get into peace of mind.
Well, I guess a man in your position, you probably have a lot of people pestering you all the time, trying to borrow money and seek out favors.
No, that's rule number one. I don't give money. I give advice. Go get a job.
Go get a job. Okay, well, that's certainly somewhere to start. Get a job.
Well, that's my motto. If you want
Okay.
if you need money, go get a job like everybody else does, and build your life up.
All right, the words to live by, right there from Charles.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is, I had no response to what I said about my driver going to win Sunday.
Were you expecting a response?
Not big response, but nobody responded, but most likely we know what their answer is.
Okay. Charles, in case you're wondering, has picked the number one. He has picked the Watermelon Man for Sunday. So, maybe someone will respond to that at some point, but so far, no comment on that.
Well, comments are welcome. I am not shy.
That we've realized that you're not shy.
Well, money is no object. I can always throw money away.
Okay. There used to be a guy in the comics. I can't remember which comic strip he was in a long time ago. He used to light his cigars with $100 bills. Do you do that?
I don't smoke cigars.
Okay. What do you light with $100 bills?
Well, my birthday candle.
All right. Who was it? Somebody will know. Somebody will call in and tell me who was the comic strip character who lit his cigars with $100 bills. If somebody knows, let me know.
Well, I just wanted to stir the pot before the weekend started.
Well, consider the pot stirred.
And I will stir it next week.
I hope so. And thank you for calling.
Bye, sir.
Goodbye. By the way, I want to mention a Bloodmobile coming up. These are very important things. A Bloodmobile coming up on Wednesday, May 25th at the Church of the Epiphany in Eden. It's from 12:30 until 4 p.m. Wednesday, May 25th. And you can get more information if you want some at their website. It's epiphanyeden.org. So that Bloodmobile is Wednesday, the 25th. That's a week from today. At the Church of the Epiphany in Eden from 12:30 until 4 p.m. And if you are able to give blood, please plan to do so. Let's see. We have not heard yet from Nice Guy as far as our picks for Charlotte. Don't have our pick yet from Nice Guy. And we have also not yet heard from ChatGPT. ChatGPT and Nice Guy, I guess, are waiting until they can gather as much information as possible before making their picks. They may even be working together. How do we know that they're not? So we've heard from everybody except a Nice Guy and ChatGPT, and I will run down those picks for you. Excuse me. Run down those picks for you in just a few minutes. The phone line is open. The phone number is up there if you'd like to give us a call. You can also email us. Oh no, allergies again. You can also email us at keneckleslive@gmail.com. Let's see. Here are the picks that we have for whoever is writing them down. Captain Midnight has the 24. Mr. NASCAR, the 17. Mr. Leaksville, the 24. Mr. Draper has the 5. Jack has the 45. Mark has the 22. Mr. Pelham has the 20. Charles from Danville has the 1. Pretty Man has the 11. Early Bird has the 5. Leon has the 1. Citizen D, the 24. The Liberal has the 5. And the Lady in Black, the mysterious Lady in Black, has the number 12. And those are the picks that are in the great book for right now. For the 600 coming up in Charlotte. Emailer says, Ken, is the North Carolina Supreme Court race finally over? Is there something else they can still do to drag it out? It's over. That long-running contest for that seat on the North Carolina Supreme Court is over. And it turns out the person who won the seat was the person who got the most votes. That was Allison Riggs. A federal court shut it down after the North Carolina Supreme Court made a ruling that military and overseas voters would have to provide some proof of their identity if they voted in 4 counties won by Democrats. However, they said if the military and overseas voters voted in counties won by Republicans, they didn't have to prove their identity. And that was a little too much for the federal court. The federal judge said, well, the Constitution says the law has to apply equally to everybody. So when you got one set of rules for people who voted in a county won by Democrats and a different set of rules for people in a county won by Republicans, you can't do that. So the race is finally over. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
How you doing, Ken?
I'm good. How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Have you heard if Charles got back on his trip?
I have not heard. He may be back or he may be in prison somewhere. I don't know.
They said he was on a ship. They said he's been out on a ship on the ocean.
That's what I heard, but I have not heard.
I hope he didn't get seasick.
Well, if he did get seasick, I don't even know where I'm going with that. We don't know. If somebody know, maybe somebody has seen Charles and knows something. So I will invite calls because I don't have any information on him. What?
I was going to ask you something. Did you ever hear anything about what I was talking about? That train hitting something and they pulled a kid out of a river.
No, Early Bird, I did not hear anything about that.
You didn't hear nothing about that.
I'm sorry.
Like I said, I caught the tail end of it on news when I was up early in the morning, and I ain't heard no more.
Did you get an idea of where it was?
No, I can't remember where it was at or nothing, but it said it was a train that hit a vehicle or a car, truck or something. and I think three fatalities. I don't know.
Okay.
I got one kid out of a river.
Well, I'm sorry,
I might be.
I have not heard anything about it.
Well, maybe somebody out there here might know what I was talking about. Maybe I don't think I was dreaming, but I swore I thought I saw it on one of the news that comes on, Channel 2 News, I think it was, and it had that writing up underneath it. And that's what I read.
Well, no,
it.
I don't think you dreamed it. If somebody knows about it, I hope they'll give us a call.
Okay, well, I'll let you go. I'll let you go because I don't want to pick at you about Charles going on that sea cruise. I heard.
Well, we don't know if he didn't fall overboard. He's probably back by now.
Yeah. Okay, I'll see you later, buddy.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, phone line is at the number up there. The email address is KenEcclesLive@gmail.com. I forgot what it was there for just an instant. When something has your name in it, you probably shouldn't forget it, but how these things go. This emailer says, "Hi, Ken. What are the standings as of now? I've got confused for the past couple of weeks." Well, I'll get back to that in one moment. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Just so early bird will know,
Yes.
Charles fell off. Charles got drunk and fell off the ship. The shark bit him, and the shark threw up and got sick and died.
All right. Now let's not do anything that Charles could sue us over. Wouldn't that be something, Charles suing one of his own shows? I don't know if that's ever happened before. Now, what do you know about it, really?
He went to Miami and took the Virgin cruise to Key West.
Okay.
From Key West to Bimini. From
All right.
Bimini back to Miami.
Back to Bimini. Bimini. How far is it from Miami to Bimini?
I'm not really sure. I hadn't looked it up. He makes like it's a really big deal going on a cruise. My goodness. I was going on cruises 30 years ago.
Well, you cruise on an airboat.
No, we'd leave Cape Canaveral and go to the Bahamas.
Now, 30 years ago. That was 30 years ago. Would you do it now?
No.
Yeah, I don't know if I would either.
No, I got over it then. I had enough of it then. My first cruise was, I had to work for my free cruise.
Oh, that's not...
I had to contract to redo the inside of the swimming pool cruise ship while it was underway.
Oh,
while it was
really?
underway.
Huh.
We had to work on it from 6 in the evening till like 3 in the morning. And then what we put on was a 2-component urethane coating on the walls after we'd sanded with grinders all of the 1-inch square tile in the inside of the swimming pool.
Good grief.
And I'm saying, when you get that way with fiberglass, you walk around like a zombie or Frankenstein. You can't put your arms down. That fiberglass gets everywhere.
Man.
But anyway, then we had to put 2-component coating of urethane coating on the pool and spray chopped fiberglass strands into that, and then put another coating over the chopped fiberglass strands to redo the inside of the pool. And when I left that day, when the cruise got back to Port Canaveral, and we left, got all our equipment off the boat, I was the last one of the crew to come off the boat. I was finishing up the last little bit. I know the blue coating that I painted on that, which was urethane, got on some people. It wasn't my problem then.
Well, now,
But
if you
I come off the ship on the headache ball. I had my foot inside the hook on the headache ball from the crane, and they lifted me right up off the ship and right onto the dock in a big old circle, about 300 feet in the air. And
wait a minute. They didn't let you walk off the ship?
No, No, we had to get off, or I'd have been gone on the next cruise. I didn't have time to find my way off the ship.
Why couldn't
Yeah.
you walk? Why couldn't you walk off the ship?
The ship was leaving.
Oh, God.
In like 3 minutes, it was leaving. They didn't give the 5 whistles and all of that, and so I wouldn't have had time to get off. It wouldn't open the side door to
Wait
let
a
me
minute.
off, so I had to ride
Wait a
the
minute.
headache ball off the crane.
No, wait. I've missed something. How long had the ship been in port?
Well, since it got there that morning.
And in all that time, you couldn't walk off the ship?
Oh, I had to finish the job.
Oh, okay. Now I get it. You
I had
just
to finish
finished.
the coating. After we sprayed that, coated it with 2-component urethane and sprayed chopped fiberglass in it, then we had to paint it a pretty blue.
All right, now I
And
understand.
the last, it was a white pool, and then the blue trim. And the blue trim is where people would sit with their legs hanging in the pool, I'm sure. And that's where the blue coating was. Yep. And it takes some special material to get urethane coating off your skin.
I don't doubt
like
it.
acetone or something like that.
I don't doubt it. So you rode the
But,
headache ball down to the dock.
I sure did. It's probably from the top of that ship where the swimming pool was, probably 300 feet in the air. Probably,
Yeah.
I ain't sure.
Well,
I
that
ain't sure
sounds
how
like
tall it
fun.
was. Well, it was. I didn't mind it a bit. I was hanging on one hand and waving with the other one, swinging.
Well, I mean,
and across
you're
the
crazy. You're crazy anyway. It wouldn't make any difference to you.
Oh, that was my nickname in Florida, Crazy Man, Wild Man, Crazy Man. It was. It was.
All right.
They said, I bet you can't jump that low with your airboat. I say, I bet you I can try.
All right, I have another question. I got another question.
Okay.
After you worked on the pool all night, did you have any opportunity to enjoy the
Oh.
cruise?
This was 3 nights. 3
3
nights. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah. We enjoyed it from 3 o'clock in the morning to about 12 at lunchtime, and then we'd go to bed till we had to get up and work again. But me and my buddy, we stayed up. It was like 3:30 in the morning. There's only 4 people awake on the ship, and there's 2. I don't mean this in no way bad way, but 2 big, heavy black women, and we wound up. We were dancing with them 2 big black heavy women. It didn't matter to us. It didn't matter to them. We was all having a good time.
Well, you work a while, you dance a while. That's how life ought to go.
Yeah, well, that's how it went. We stay up till wasn't nobody up partying, and then we go to bed.
Okay. One more chapter.
I lived in the Bahamas. I lived in the Bahamas for almost a year doing construction work down there on roofing on a project from a man from Denmark. He was almost a billionaire, and he was doing a $800 and some odd million project there in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
It's called, anyway, I did all the roofs on all of them. When you get to Freeport, you'll see all these beautiful colored roofs of the tile on all this village. It's a Danish village in Port Lakaya. And I did all the roofs on those. And yeah.
Do any
It's
dancing?
fun. It's
Any
good.
dancing in the Bahamas?
Yeah, quite a bit. And
Okay.
bought a lot of Cuban cigars. And I'm going to tell you, Cuban cigars, like, you just puff a little bit, and it's like you didn't smoke the joint or something,
That's what I've heard.
I'm serious.
That's what I've heard.
I'm
yeah.
serious. Yeah, Romeo and Cleopatra. It was coming a long 10 with a screw cap on it. But I had a great time. And man, I worked for, give me a Mercedes to drive around the whole time I was there and pay my meals, pay for my cigars, pay for everything. I just turned in the receipts and got paid every week. Hurricane would come, he'd fly me back over here, come back and get me. And had his own plane, he was an old man, him and his son. But anyway,
Well,
it was a great time. It really was.
Sounds like
Big
a deal.
experience.
Sounds like a
Yeah.
deal.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Take
thanks.
care, Ken. Have a good night.
Thanks for calling. If I was in Port Canaveral or somewhere where cruise ships dock, and if I happened to look and see a man riding down the headache ball from 300 feet in the air off a cruise ship, I would immediately say, that's got to be Mr. Draper. That couldn't be that couldn't be anybody else. Let's see. Emailer was wondering about the standings. The standings now, excuse me, the standings now are as they were on the email that I sent out 2 weeks ago. If you have that email from 2 weeks ago, then the standings are still the same. I'll read the standings in a minute just to make sure, though. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
How you doing tonight, Ken?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Mr. Draper was talking about Freeport, man. I've been to a lot of places in the world, but I tell you, Freeport, I think, is one of the most beautiful beaches in the whole wide world. I mean,
Freeport in the Bahamas.
Yes, sir. I mean, I spent a couple of weeks down there one time, and I really enjoyed it, man. It's just a beautiful place to be.
Well, that's what I've heard. I've never been, but I've heard it's really just fantastic place to go.
Yeah, if you ever get the opportunity, take advantage of it, because, if I could afford it, I'd head back tomorrow, but I'm telling you, it is one beautiful place.
Well, when were you there?
Probably, let's see, 2011. Yeah.
Okay, on
on
vacation?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Sounds like a nice one.
Yeah, I knew a person that had a timeshare down there, and we went down there and spent a couple of weeks, and, just really enjoy. And some of the best food, Ken. You can eat eggs or whatever anywhere, but and fruit. It's just got a taste of its own.
I guess. I don't know this for a fact, but I would guess that most of what eggs and fruit and that sort of thing, most of it is straight from the farm or straight from the orchard or straight from somewhere. I doubt it's been laying around very long.
No, it's all local. Trust me, it is. And I just can't explain it, Ken. I think the best oranges I've ever eaten in my life were there. It was just, they're huge. They're so orange. They're really orange and sweet. They don't have any bitter taste to them at all. And like eggs for breakfast. They just taste like eggs I've never eaten before. And they were real eggs too, so just a wonderful place.
Maybe Charles will send us all to the Bahamas for a week. Do a show from the Bahamas for a week. We'll suggest that.
Yep. You think this big beautiful bill's going to get through the House?
Yeah, it'll get through the House. I don't know if we can absolutely say exactly what form it's going to be in when it gets through the House, because they're still doing some back and forth. It'll get through the House. Now, whether or not it'll get through the Senate in the same form that the House passes it, I don't know. The Senate may change something and send it back, but it'll get through the House at some point, and we'll see what the Senate has to say.
Yeah. Well, I'd be willing to bet, Ken, and of course, you know how my bets work out as far as the political world these days. But anyway, I think it'll get through both of them. I don't think anybody's going to go against Donald Trump. I just don't see it happening in Congress, I should say, on the Republican side. But I think he'll get exactly what he wants, just like he always does.
Well, I don't know. Obviously, there's a lot of, well, I don't know if we say a lot, but there certainly is a fair amount of comment among Republicans in the Senate who say that they don't like it, what they know about it right now. Now, that doesn't tell us how they'll vote when it's time to vote. We don't know what they'll do. But there are enough Republicans questioning it that if they voted against it, it would have to go back to the House for changes. But again, it depends on how they vote.
Yeah. Well, I saw today where they were interviewing 3 Republican congressmen, and they point blank asked them, well, under the circumstances you're explaining, will you vote no or for it? And they would never give a definitive answer at all. They would not come out and say, no, I'm not going to vote for it.
Well, they are, after all, politicians.
I understand. Yeah. And as far as the Medicaid cuts, Ken, if that happens as the way they're planning on it happening, it's going to be a lot of things bad happening. I think like hospitals and people that's got insurance that will not have insurance. I think it's 8.5 million people will lose their insurance because of that.
It's the numbers different every time. The number's always in the millions. Sometimes it's 8 million, sometimes it's 10 million. It changes, but it is always some millions of people.
Yeah. And I looked into it too, Ken, and said as far as newborns born in the United States that are born with Medicaid coverage, it's 37.5%. That's 1 out of every 3 children that are born, and Medicaid pays for it. And nursing homes, depending on which state you're in, it's as many as 60% in some states that provide Medicaid so people can be in nursing homes.
Yeah, it's a huge percentage for nursing homes.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they do the cuts like they want to cut, or saying they're going to, I mean, that's going to be havoc on a lot of people that, that's in that income bracket. It's going to be terrible, Ken.
Well, what's in there right now, and the bill seems to change constantly. What's in there right now would cut over the next 10 years about $500 billion over the next 10 years. Now, at some form of the bill, it was $800 billion, and one is almost $900 billion. I think right now, I think it's $500 billion, and this is over 10 years. So if they're going to cut that much money from Medicaid, then I mean it's just a mathematical fact. Somebody's going to lose coverage, or at least have their coverage cut back considerably. Somebody. Now there are work requirements. Right now it contains a requirement that if you're an able-bodied person and you're on Medicaid, you have to work 20 hours a week. Now that doesn't mean you have to have a job. It also will accept community service. 20 hours of community service a week will count as 20 hours of work for you. So presumably, and I say presumably because I can't know this for sure, but it seems that most of the money, most of the cuts would come from people who are able-bodied but don't meet the 20-hour-a-week work requirement. And that might spare people in nursing homes. I don't know, but it might.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just fearful of things like UNC Hospital up there. You lose the aid and lose the hospital, and
Well, it is a fact that a lot of hospitals, especially rural hospitals, depend on Medicaid money to stay open. Some of them, at least this is what they say. They say they cannot stay open without Medicaid money. And some of those hospitals are probably going to come under a lot of financial pressure if the bill passes the way it is.
Yeah. What about this, cuts to the Board of Education? Now, how will that affect each state? That's not going to be a pretty thing either when, budgets come around for school systems. I mean, how in the world are they going to figure that out this time of the year?
I don't know how that's going to work. I hear projections. I hear goals. They say our goal is to do this and to do that. I have not seen any concrete plans on that. If they may exist, but I haven't seen them.
Yeah, me neither, kid. And I think North Carolina expanded Medicaid, and get back on that subject again, but in 2023, I think it was. And if these cuts come along, could North Carolina do away with that Medicaid extension they put out?
Well, anything that a state does, a state can undo. Now, the law says, again, that the current law says that the federal government will continue to fund 90% of the cost of Medicaid for states with expansion. That's what the law says. If they cut $500 billion, though, it may be hard for the federal government to do that in every state. That's an unanswered question. That's an area we don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah. All right, Ken. Who are you picking this weekend for the race?
I'm picking the 12 again. I've picked the 12 3 times, and I think he's had a DNF two of those 3 times. So I'm going to jinx him again. I'm picking the 12.
Well, he's got as good a chance as anybody does, that's for sure.
Well,
all right, Ken, thanks for calling. I enjoy your show, man. Have a good weekend.
Thanks for calling. Phone line is open right now. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com. Here are those standings, by the way. Somebody want to read the standings? Here they are. Well, wait a second. Okay, Mr. Draper, 190. Mr. Leaksville, 188. Mark from Mayodan, 166. Hey, caller. Hang on, caller. I'll be with you as soon as I finish this thing I'm doing here. Mr. Pelham and Mark actually are tied for third with 166. Lady in Black, fifth, 163. Early Bird, sixth, 162. Nice Guys, seventh, 148. Mr. NASCAR, 8th, 146. Charles, 9th, 142. Leon, 10th, 133. Liberal, 11th, 132. Jack, 126, is 12th. 13th is Chat GPT with 124. Captain Midnight is 14th with 123. Pretty Man is 15th with 115. And our past 2-time champion, Citizen D, is in 16th place with 83 points. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken, it's Mark from Mayodan.
Hey, Mark. How are you?
Okay, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
That's good. Right before Joe Biden left out of office, I sent him a Christmas card, and I put in the card. I didn't agree with his policy, but I thought he was okay or whatever. Anyway, I never did get a letter back after I sent the Christmas card, but just 2 days ago, I got something in the mail. It had from Jill and Joe Biden had a picture of them on a card and said, "Thanks for letting us be your president and supporting us," or something like that.
Okay, well, I'm glad that they acknowledged your Christmas card. I'm happy that you got that.
Yeah. What place am I in?
Mark, you are number 3. You're tied for third place with Mr. Pelham. You and Mr. Pelham tied for third.
Oh, okay. And then I was going to say, right before Trump got reelected as president, I wrote a letter to New York. And I was putting out I wanted Ace Frehley or Gene Simmons band to come to Caesars casino stuff in Danville.
Yeah.
So that might be in the works. I don't know if they're doing that, but hopefully they will.
Well, that's not impossible. They may do that. Caesars, they have a lot of contracts with a lot of big name acts. I wouldn't be shocked if they did that. I hope they will. I hope you get to see them.
Yeah. Did you ever see anything what happened on May 15th when Ace was in Rocky Mountain? Did you hear anything about that? I didn't hear nothing about it.
I didn't hear. I know it was there, but I didn't hear anything about it beyond that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know if you see anything on the news or anything.
No, as far as I know, they had the show, and I guess it went okay. If it had gone wrong, we probably would have heard about it.
Yeah. Yeah, my friend wanted to know if I wanted to go, but I was kind of sick that day, and I didn't get to go. And my friend was going to take me up there and everything, and I didn't get to go.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mark. You would have enjoyed that because it's a nice little venue they have up there, the Harvester. And if you'd gone, you would have been pretty close to the stage because everybody in there is pretty close to the stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm sorry you missed.
I know. I know. I was telling my other friend, who's an Ace Frehley friend, I told her that Ace is going to be in Virginia Beach on June the 4th. She said that'll be a good show to go to too.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah. Okay. I won't waste no more time for you. All right.
Well,
Thanks,
thank you.
Ken.
Thanks, Mark. Good to hear from you. Let me check my clock here. Oh, yeah, we're doing pretty well on time. Phone line is open. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com. And let's check some emails over here. This one says, did Mr. Leaksville pick a driver? Yeah, Mr. Leaksville picked the 24. I thought I read that. I might have skipped over it. Mr. Leaksville has the 24. And Ron DeSantis has passed a law in Florida, or signed a law in Florida that says no chemtrails or aerial spraying of any type in the state of Florida. Yeah, I read about that. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ken. How you doing?
Okay. How are you?
All right. Did you hear where the Pentagon is accepting the gold-plated plane?
The $400 million plane from Qatar. I read that today.
And some say it could cost up to $600-700 billion to tear it down, check it out for bugs and listening devices, and put it back together and add the amenities that they always have in Air Force One.
Okay, let me get in one thing here. Actually, not 600 or 700 billion. It's between 600 million and a billion is what they project that to cost.
Yeah.
Maybe they can get by with 600 million. Maybe it'll cost $1 billion, but it's not going to be cheap.
Right, and you know who will be paying for that, right?
Well, the taxpayers will pay for that.
Okay. So
they have to do
like
so much to that
break.
airplane to make it suitable to be an Air Force One. It's going to cost a lot of money, and it could take. This is the tricky part. It could take 2 years or maybe longer to do it.
Right. So, and let me ask you this: what do you think happens to that plane when he leaves office?
Well, we already know it is donated to the Trump Presidential Library.
Yeah, and that library will be flying around daily, right?
Well, we don't know. I don't. I get what puzzles me. The part of it that puzzles me is this: it is a gift to the American people.
Right.
Is the way it's characterized, that it's not being given to the president, it's being given to us, the taxpayers, that it's our airplane. But you kind of wonder if it's our airplane, shouldn't we have some say in what happens to it? I mean, they've already decided at the end of President Trump's term, they're going to give it to the library. They're going to give away our airplane. That doesn't seem quite fair.
Yeah, she'll let the people decide. Yeah.
Yeah, we might want to sell it.
That's right. Or auction it off to pay the national debt that's supposed to be going up about
we need a
big
fleet of airplanes to pay that.
Yeah. Well, briefly, Ken, I have a statement here, and I wish to say that it's a shame that some can get gold custom planes, crypto coins, profit for $5 million gold cards, while it is all but certain the big, beautiful bill will pass and others will be cut on their Medicaid benefits. 10 million lose their insurance, and millions of kids go hungry because the SNAP program being cut. Now, with 8,000 cut from the VA, many of their services will be cut. That's 88,000. In FEMA is cut while states are ill-equipped and understaffed to handle our disasters. Meals on Wheels cut, leaving many isolated elderly starving to death. Million cut by Doge, led by a South African immigrant who never ending thirst for more money and more power, has put some of our brightest and best people on the unemployment line. All this to appease a dictator with 41 felons and morals that led him to cheat on his wife right after she gave birth of his child, and convicted of sexual assault with E. Jean Carroll. Many good people on Medicaid will suffer as long as we please the man who called himself the king. One day only the true king will judge. Until then, we pray and try to help his victims. We are not deranged, but those who believe this con man many lies are. And thank you for your time, Ken.
Well, thanks for calling. Good to hear from you.
All right.
And I will say this one thing. When we talk about court rulings, I'm always kind of picky about court rulings. So let me point out that President Trump was not convicted of sexual assault. You can't be convicted unless you're charged with a crime. It was a civil trial. He was found civilly liable for sexual assault. But just to make sure we've got all the P's and Q's in order, there wasn't a conviction because it wasn't a criminal trial. So there's that. We have a few minutes left for your phone calls and your emails. The phone line is open at that number. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.org. Ken, do we know if we're going to get a Big Lots back? I know Big Lots is opening back up. Are we going to get a Big Lots? Well, I already looked that up because I was wondering if we were going to get a Big Lots. We're not getting one in Rockingham County, at least based on the list they have out now. And they've reopened. They've had 4 phases of reopening, and the phase 4 just came out, and we're not on there. The closest, as it stands right now, the closest Big Lots to us is going to be in Greensboro. So Rockingham County has not won that particular lottery. No Big Lots. No Big Lots. Hey, Ken, this is Jack. Just wondering, who is your pick this week and what place are you in if you could play? My pick is the 12, and my place, if I was playing, would be 14th. 14th. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Mr. Eckers. How are you tonight?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Well, I'm still kicking, not as high, but I'm kicking.
Well, as long as you're kicking, that's a good thing.
There you go. Ken, I was just wondering, I heard Mr. Liberal there, he had a whole lot to say. That man, good gracious alive, he was putting it out there tonight, and you corrected him on some things about the convicted or whatever. Yeah. But and I'm wondering then, if we getting this out, he's getting this plane over here, and then with us taxpayers going to have to pay for all of this here. How in the world is he going to sit up here and cut Medicaid? I don't understand. And all the time they say they're not going to touch it. All the time through his campaign, and I'm not going to touch Medicaid or Medicare, but they're going to cut it. I mean, I don't understand that, Ken.
Well, there's a whole lot in politics that's hard to understand. As far as the airplane goes, the the president says we're actually saving money with the airplane, although I don't quite see how we are, because we're going to have to spend maybe $1 billion to have it refitted. But you know, the airplane's the airplane, and there it is. As far as Medicaid goes, you know, sometimes politicians do stuff that they didn't tell you they were going to do. I think we've seen that before. So Medicaid is going to be touched if the bill that's in the House right now becomes law. It's going to be touched. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Oh, well, Ken. Okay, so here it is. Now I get, you know, pretty good money I'm on disability. Well, when I was on disability, now I'm on Social Security. So at the end of the day, Ken, I work for this money right here. I put this money in. I worked since I was 5, 6 years old, and I worked on up to when I was a teenager, 17 years at Dan River Mill, and 21 years at this other plant making tape. Mm-hmm. And I work for this money. Okay, so at the end of the day, now I only have one lung, and then I got COPD. Okay, I can't get Medicaid. I can get Medicare. But, you know, and they saying that I make too much money to get Medicaid. That's not right. I mean, because this money that I put in there, I mean, that's you know what I don't understand that. I mean, I see people out here that's healthier than I am walking around, and they got Medicaid.
Well, you know, Medicaid, as I'm sure you understand, Medicaid was designed to provide insurance for low-income people, and I guess you make too much money.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, you know, and I like I said, but I make too much money, but that's money that I put into my Social Security. They took out, but okay, so at the end of the day. And there's another thing is, okay, so they asked Mike Johnson about I'm getting back on the plane again, saying that asking some question about the plane, and he said that was out of his lane. Now, he's the Speaker of the House. He said that's out of his lane. It seems to me like they are scared of Donald Trump. If they say anything against, and then Donald Trump telling them to get on board with this here plan that he's talking about, get on board with it, or you're not a Republican, or stop being a Republican.
Well, they have a fear. They have fear of the president because they don't want to be primaried. Because Donald Trump is the leader of the Republican Party, and the Republican Party does what he says by and large, maybe not 100% of the time, but 95% of the time. And they know that Donald Trump can, wherever their district is, they know that Donald Trump can recruit a candidate to challenge them in a primary, and they don't want a primary, and most of them are not going to do anything that makes Donald Trump angry because they don't want a primary challenge. That's how it's working right now.
And okay, Ken, I'm going to let you go after this right here. Okay, so here's the thing too. This man is the president of the United States. Okay, before he become president, people here, you know, was against him and all, and went against him in trial and took him to court and all of this. Why can't he let that go? Leave those people alone. Run the country. That's what he needs to do. Make things better for us. You know, make things better for the people. But he's not doing that. He's going after the people that went after him while he was running. This man is out. It's insane. He's the president. He's not even acting like a president. No, he's acting like they said, a dictator. That's the way I gotta say it. He's acting like and he do not care about no one but Donald Trump. And he says that plane is supposed to be ours, but no, that plane is Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? And people sit up here and believe this man cares about them, but he doesn't. I mean, they can't see it. I do not understand it. The man is for himself and for the rich. This is all that man is about, Ken. And I appreciate you putting up with me and listening to me, but I just had to get that off my chest right there. So at the end of the day, you have a blessed weekend, and thanks for taking my call.
Well, you too, and thank you for calling. It's good to hear from you. Phone lines open. We've got not too much time left here. And we got another email, I think, to get to. If I can get to it, that is. This one says, Ken, I read today that there might also be Medicare cuts in that bill in the House. I have not heard anything about them cutting Medicare. Have you heard about that? There is nothing in the bill that cuts Medicare. The bill itself does not cut Medicare. So that much I know for sure. The Congressional Budget Office, this is probably what you heard. The Congressional Budget Office scored this bill, as it always does. The Congressional Budget Office says that the bill will add $3.8 trillion to the national debt over the next 10 years because it cuts taxes, which cuts government revenue, but it doesn't cut enough spending to match the tax cuts. Now, this is the Congressional Budget Office. I'm not saying this. It's CBO that's saying this. They say the bill will add, as I say, $3.8 trillion to the national debt over the next 10 years. And if that is the case, if that is the state of the final bill that passes, then that triggers something called PAYGO, pay as you go. That's a law that was passed by Congress in 2010, and it requires something called sequestration, which is across-the-board cuts in government spending if Congress passes something that raises the deficit beyond a certain limit. The bill, as currently written, would raise the deficit enough that sequestration would be triggered under the pay-as-you-go law. This is what the Congressional Budget Office says. Now, once sequestration is triggered, everything across the board, everything gets cut. If that happened, Medicaid spending would have to be cut under the law by 4%. That would cut, Medicare spending under the law would be cut by 4% if sequestration is triggered. That would cut Medicare by about $45 billion next year and by $450 to $500 billion over the next 10 years. So again, this bill does not in and of itself cut Medicare, but if the deficit increase triggers PAYGO and the government has to go through sequestration, then everything, including Medicare, would be cut. And Medicare's share of the cuts, as I say, would be about $450 to $500 billion over the next 10 years. Now, is that how it's going to work out? Don't know, because we don't know exactly what's finally going to pass the House and what's finally going to be accepted by the Senate. But whatever it was you heard, care being cut, I'm pretty confident that is what you heard. There could be indirect cuts to Medicare as a result of the bill, even though it's not in the bill itself. And I know that's convoluted and complicated, but that's how they do things in Washington. So that's what I know about that. And that's all the time we have for Star Talk this week. We're on the air Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. I hope you'll join us next time. Thanks for watching. I'm Ken Echols.